day for the original plan of the Fixed Gear Barbecue weekend, well, it didn't go as we had originally planned. In fact, we didn't even really ride today. We went and adventured a little bit and checked out a double waterfall. It was getting hot out, and we just all decided we're just not going to ride today, and we went home. So here I am now with this day that's free that I didn't originally have planned. I could fill it with all of the things that I've been putting off, like seeing if my mountain bike is okay, giving you an update on the cheap gravel bike because there's massive things that are going to happen to that I'm probably going to do today, and sort of fill you in on how quickly people in an office want you working on their stuff when they find out you're a bike mechanic and that you have a YouTube channel. When people find out that you worked at a bike shop and you were a mechanic and you have a YouTube channel about bikes, they want you to work on their bike. There, that part's done now. And again, while I'm walking over here, I want to reiterate again, because Brent, I know you're watching, fine job on a fixed gear for your first time ever. If you'll recall back to when I built this bike, as you should easily be able to remember, it had a lot of problems. And a lot of you were pretty good about reminding me or letting me know what you had thought was wrong about the bike. Number one being the disgusting quill stem that was adjustable and stupid, and you know, I get it. I understand that it didn't really make sense to leave that adjustable piece of garbage quill stem in this bike, but at the time it was all I had. From then to now, I've changed the bike from a 1 1/8 threaded fork to a threadless surly fork so that I can put a more modern stem setup on it. The second thing that was pointed out the most was easily the chain tension or lack thereof in this setup. That's because I only had a 16 tooth cog at the time. I've got the 17 in there now. You can see that it actually is a decent tension. Problem is, this again is a cog out of a cassette, so even still, when you do hit some bumps, it will drop off from time to time. The biggest reason that I haven't spent a lot of time on this bike is mostly because it's just too big. And I sort of knew that at the time when I built it, that I wasn't really going to probably ride it very much because it's just kind of long and big, and I can't really even stand over it because I got fairly short legs. But the whole point was that I just build something for as cheap as possible, and then if a frame came up that I could like replace all this stuff onto, I would do that. And that's what's going to happen. I think I'm actually missing some tools to make it work, but I'll show you the plan. It's actually kind of just a total carbon copy of what I've already done with that bike in just a smaller size. But before I dig into that too hard, I can't help but need to finally assess the damage on this. There's certainly paint missing and like a big chunk of carbon fiber missing from close to the dropout, but I don't know that I'm concerned about it. Mostly because I don't have any money and I can't replace it. So it's probably fine. Sort of scary, I know, but there's some sharp bits there that I feel are probably worse being there than not being there by filing them off. So this looks like it, you know, kind of broke its way through somewhere that it's not supposed to. If I can get a hanger soon, I'll just hit this with a hammer and straighten it out until a new derailleur shows up at my house. That's like a perfect case of past Eric looking out for future Eric and having bought one of those and put it in a bin somewhere expecting this day to come. I didn't trust myself enough to look earlier, but that is the best feeling ever. This must be what it feels like for people who are really good at planning things all the time. But the good news is it doesn't look like the spot where it was hit on the seat stay is going to be too much of a problem. Filing away the little bit that was lost near the dropout also doesn't seem to bother me too much. The derailleur hanger goes on fine. But this derailleur is done. But considering I do have everything that I need to build the new wheels for this bike, it actually gives me a really good opportunity to continue to not ride it and spend the money to upgrade to 11 speed. I'll show you. Alright, remember when I mentioned that I wanted to build a set of wheels, like a decent, amazing set of wheels that could go from one bike to the other for this thing? And then I mentioned I didn't want to go with anything no-name, I didn't want to go with anything dumb or cheap, or I wanted to spend some money on this. I think I was all talk there when I actually started looking at the prices of hubs and how soon I wanted them. I quickly changed my mind and went with, I need something of quality that's going to be light, that can move from bike to bike, that can be quick release for now, and then go to through axle and convert over. So what I went with was hubs from a website called Bike Hub Store, Bicycle Hub Store. I had looked at their stuff before. Their hubs are light. I've never seen a bad review of them. These are fairly light. They are very generic looking. I did weigh them. They actually came in heavier than what they said they were going to be. No real surprise there. They do have the quick release end caps on them right now, but with them I ordered the proper end caps that I'm going to need and a proper rear axle for when I decide to get a new fork for that bike so that the front can go right into it, and when I decide to get a new frame because this one's starting to... These hubs are going to be built to the blunts that I already showed you, and for spokes I got them from a Canadian company called Spoke Service I think. These are Sapim D lights. I was gonna go with the Sapim lasers, and then I realized that I'm 195 pounds lately and I don't know where that weight is, where it's hiding, or where it came from, but it made me realize that maybe don't go with such a butted spoke. Probably I'm overthinking that a little bit. These are a nice spoke. They're certainly not as cool as I was hoping to have for a hub set, but it is what it is. Okay, well, I'm glad I did that because that makes me feel a lot better about where it's at, and I don't need to buy a new frame. And I'm just gonna go I'm just going to go tinker with some other stuff because I forgot that I lent out most of my tools to do what I want to do to that cheap gravel bike. So that will get its own video, and that was kind of the plan anyway. So mountain bike sort of fixed, needs a couple parts but doesn't need a frame. I promise you a full in-depth overview and changeover of the cheap gravel bike is coming. And then I'll go ride it. Baby, when